All right, guys, you're going to hear me say in the next, well, as soon as it jumps to the next clip, this is going to be a brief video. Yeah, I kind of lied about that. Um, this is a video that I was tempted to shoot last time when I repainted my winged eagle, but I was so new at painting that um, I didn't want to shoot a video on it if I wasn't 100% sure on what methods to use and stuff like that. And this one is still drying. You'll see later in the video that I talked about the excess paint that's on like the M and the P here on the banner. But that all gets addressed. Tell you how to clean that up. When this thing dries tomorrow, I will be cleaning it up. You don't want to try to remove excess paint while it's still wet. But anyway, enjoy this. This is not a definitive guide on how to do it. This is how I did it on the Winged Eagle and on this Orm Undisputed version 1. The SD belt that I've had for a little while, it got damaged somewhat in the house fire. The soot latched onto the paint just like on my Winged Eagle, and could not get it to come back off and get the paint glossy again. So decided to just strip it all and repaint it. So here we go with what would technically be segment 1 or part 1 of this. Alright, this is going to be a brief one, but you could see how it's not very glossy. This is my Orm Undisputed version 1. And how dingy the white is, that's not going to be like that for long. We are going to repaint this. This is the before, and I will be posting the after. Alright, so this is part 2 of belt repainting. The first part you just kind of saw like the before. I've gotten most of this belt already stripped. Side plates, all these little crevices in here where the stars are and everything on the sides of this champion banner. Pain in the ass. Alright, we got one plate left, and I thought this would be where I'd kind of show you a little bit of what I do. So what I have here, hang on, let me pause, be right back. So Jasco paint and epoxy remover, you can get this at Home Depot. I think I've got just enough. You'll see little specks of paint in there. I think I've got just enough to do this property plate. So the way it works is you just put it, this is a little like red Solo cup shot glass. It's disposable. You can you can just throw it away when you're done. Tools of the trade for this. So I have, these are shop towels, blue shop towels. They're lint free, that's why I prefer them. I found those at Home Depot, but I'm pretty sure O'Reilly Auto Parts or Napa will have them. These are just toothpicks. Those are to scrape. These Q-tips, are just to wipe up a lot of the paint. That's why these over here are black. It's from the black paint. You know, sometimes I use the toothpick depending on if I can't fit a Q-tip in there, I'll use a toothpick. And then this is how I apply it. This is like a double-sided scrub brush. I didn't buy this, so don't ask me where to get it. But the old homeowners left it behind the slop sink down in the garage. So how nice of them. So, and then this, just a little trash can, little receptacle. Wow. It ate through the bottom of that styrofoam. Okay. But I guess get something more sturdy than styrofoam if you're going to use it for a trash can. Let's see here. So the way I do this is I just take this little scrub brush. I just put this paint remover on. I got to give a shout out real quick while it's on my mind. Stephen Hammond. He's probably watching this. What the hell did I do? He did an oval intercontinental and mentioned, I think in the video or in the comments section, that this Jasco paint remover is what he uses. So thank you for making that video, because it indirectly gave me a guide on what to use and how to go about doing it. So this, you can let it sit for 60 seconds. It says on the front of the bottle, fast 15 minutes. It's faster than that. You can start removing this stuff probably now. If I just take this toothpick, can you see it? It's starting to pull it. So this stuff is really, really fast. And you can loosen a lot of it up. Let me grab a paper towel. Loosen a lot of it up. and you could kind of like twirl it onto the toothpick and then go back for more. And that's kind of how I go about doing it. Obviously, like I said, you could take a Q-tip if you want. This will take up the paint remover and the paint itself. And if you have an area like this that's a little bit larger where you can fit a Q-tip in over a toothpick, whatever makes it easier. And then after I'm done, I'll take one of these shop towels and give it a thorough wipe, wipe down. Make sure I get everything. Because see, that's the other part of it too. If you ever notice that sometimes a repainted belt has bumpy areas in it, that's because they didn't get all the old paint up. And it's like, it just sits on top of it. It's like pouring concrete on an uneven surface. It'll show, or it's like body work even. It'll show that you didn't get everything block sanded smooth. Same thing here. So I'll just show you when I'm done what the whole belt looks like. But that's the process. Toothpick and Q-tip, and then this little brush to apply. Sometimes get in there and scrub a little bit, and then Jasco paint remover. I'll show you when I'm done. Alright, part 3. We're actually going to repaint. We're going to finish the repainting. I did a lot of this myself, just the past few days, taking my time with it, but I'm going to show you how to apply paint in 2 different ways. So, the other day, I posted my winged eagle for sale, and Antonio Mendoza hit me up saying how much he liked it, whatever. We got talking, and we mentioned that painting is not real fun, right? It just sucks, because between the prep, the application, if you mess up, you got to redo it. There's a cleanup afterwards. You got to remove excess paint, all that sort of stuff. But while we were talking, I mentioned this to him. I thought I'd bring it to you guys and mention it to you as well. I came up with a little hack. So obviously on the Winged Eagle, it's a very curved main plate. This Undisputed version 1 is not as curved as a Winged Eagle. But still, you got this edge of the banner over here that extends past the banner actually. And you got this end. And with a curve, what will happen because of gravity is it will collect on each end. The excess paint will run to this side of the plate on a really curved main plate, which is expected. So to mitigate that, what I end up doing, and I already did this obviously the past few days, but what I do, let me back up, there we go, is I take a roll of paper towels. Depending on the size of the curve, it also depends on how big of a roll, if you need a full one or if you need one that's halfway gone like this. But what you can do is you can rotate the belt and just do it in sections. So like if you wanted to do this and keep this area right here as flat as possible, just put the roll of paper towels under here, do this whole side of the belt, and let it sit for 24 hours. Then come back. Don't get in a hurry doing this, by the way, because that's how you mess it up. Same thing over here. So that makes things a whole lot easier when you're painting sections of a belt. Like I said, we're going to use two different methods. So this is a syringe bottle. You can get these on Amazon. So what I'm going to do is see which one has more paint or less paint. Which one's lighter? This one's lighter. Okay. So we're going to pour a little bit in this cap, and I'll show you why. That's for one method of doing it. Okay. And then the rest is going to go in here. And I doubt I'm going to need that second bottle. I'm going to keep it on standby just in case. Actually, move that over. Kind of look at that. I don't know if that's enough to do that, the whole champion banner or not, but if I need more, I'll just open up the second bottle. But there are two different methods of doing this, like I mentioned. First one, we're going to take a cap, and we're going to take this toothpick, and we're going to just fill it in as if we're filling in like a bathtub or filling in a swimming pool with water. I'll try to do this within the viewfinder. But you just get some paint on your toothpick. You just sort of fill it in. And there's that section done, right? That's why I started in there, because that's kind of a secluded area. It doesn't let you go all the way to the edges with it. So that's method number one. Is and I'm gonna continue to do that here within the WWF logo. And this is for obviously more fine work, right? Where you could probably get that syringe tip in there, but it'd be a little bit more difficult. Let me grab a paper towel so I can put this toothpick on. So that's that. And then we got this syringe bottle over here. And you just take this syringe bottle and let it work its way down. Come on. Hang on a second. There we go. It wasn't tight. Maybe that'll help. There we go. Okay. So I'm trying to do this in the light so you guys can see better. But you just fill it in. It's basically just like drawing. And then kind of look over your work and see if you missed any spots before it starts to dry. If you need to reapply some, reapply some. I should have enough to do this property plate, but we'll find out. Like I said, I got more paint. Alright, I'm going to double check my work off camera, because I'm still looking through the viewfinder on my screen. But when we come back, I'll double check my work, and then we'll talk about cleanup afterwards. Alright, so I refilled the syringe bottle, but you could see how I already did the center of the P, the O, and the A in Champion. I did that a few days ago with the toothpick method, and the reason why is because it's secluded. They're not gonna be able to see where you started and stopped. Whereas if you did only half of this banner and then put it down for the day and then came back, there's gonna be a seam where obviously you started and stopped at. So what I recommend is you start in the center and let gravity naturally work its way towards the edges of the plate. Oops. You just can't even see what I'm doing. There we go. Just like that. Just sort of, you're more or less just tracing with this paint. Oops. And I will also, if I haven't done it already, put a picture up on Amazon. You could pause the video and go to Amazon right now if you want to order these little syringe bottles. And I don't know, I guess you could use mineral spirits to clean them back out and get the enamel paint out of there. I just treat them as disposable because I don't repaint stuff very often. So one-time use, good enough for me. So, not to bore you, but I'm going to take a break and finish this up and do it, um, get it all done, and I'll come back, like I said, and talk to you about excess paint and cleanup and stuff like that. All right, so I got all the paint work done and filled in, and as you can see, I got a little bit of excess paint on the P, on the M. I want to say that was it, but and I also got that property plate done too. But what I want to talk to you guys about was about removing excess paint. So there are two ways you can that I've found you can do it. I think there's three ways, but one of them I'm not willing to try, and that's with like paint thinner or mineral spirits. And you can take a piece of cotton or something like a cotton ball and wipe it, and it's supposed to take it right off. But my fear is removing the paint that I just put down, so I avoid that method. Another thing you can do is take one of those blue shop towels over there and use, so the side that sticks out to you is kind of concave, right? The dots are pointed in. Use the back side that has the dots pointed out to you. I'm trying to pick that up. There we go. That's what I use. And then you can use that to wipe up and sort of scrub the excess paint off of the raised areas, leaving just the paint down in the recessed areas where you want it. The third way is with this. Now, how comfortable you feel with the razor blade is up to you. But in order to not scratch up your plates, if I were to go this way with it, right, I'm taking up hair and possibly taking up skin. If I go this way with it, it's a lot more passive and doesn't scar up anything. So that's what you want to do, is just lay it down and go backwards with it. Just let the edge catch that paint, and then use the paper towel to make sure all the excess paint has been picked up. It's not just the loose pieces of paint are just laying there. And the way I got this method was from the Gibson Guitar Company. Back in 2015, I visited their Memphis factory when it was still open. It's where they made their hollow bodies. So like the ES335, the 339, the 355, BB King's Lucille, stuff like that. And they were showing in the process how they removed excess paint from the binding. So to illustrate that, I actually have one of my guitars here, one of my Gibsons. This is my Slash model. It's based off the Appetite for Destruction Les Paul that Slash used to record that album. So what they do is, and this is someone's entire job the whole day, is they take that razor blade and they just, after they have overspray of the red paint on the binding, because the binding goes on before the paint, they just work their way backwards and just scrape it and clean up these fretboard edges and all that sort of stuff. So that's another method that you could use to clean it up. Do them all at your own risk. Like I said, it depends on how handy you think you are with a razor blade, because I don't want anybody to nick up their plates and come blame me. But I had excess paint from the white here. I had excess paint of the black bleeding out on these side plates. Cleaned it all up, and I'm happy with it. So anyway, let me get off here because I got a phone call coming. See you guys later.